Hello everyone, I'm Watson. In this video we're going to learn how to set up a PoE PTZ IP camera 500 meters away from our PoE switch. In this video we're going to use a managed PoE switch with a visual LCD screen in the front, and also it's a high power PoE switch. So what does high power mean? Well, the PoE technology transmits power and data through an Ethernet cable, we know that. And there are many versions of it. We have the very original PoE grade, and then it has been developing towards PoE++ now. The different grades come with different power output. PoE started with a 13 watts power output, then PoE Plus got to 26, and at PoE++, which is the PoE switch we have right now, we also call high power PoE switches because they provide a minimum of 60 watts of power output, and some of them can even go to 90-95 watts. These PoE switches are designed to supply power for power-hungry devices. A PTZ IP camera would be one of those. We know that the PoE signal can only transmit for 100 meters. After 100 meters, the signal will decay, and it's really hard for us to receive a very useful signal and enough power to generate the device. So in this case, we will need some devices to help us repeat the PoE signal to let it go further. One of these devices are PoE-Extenders. The PoE-Extenders can help us repeat the signal for another 100 meters, and we can daisy chain up these up to 300 meters total. But we're going to have to go for 500 meters today. That's not enough quite for sure. And we have discovered a method. When we use two one input, one output PoE extenders and face the two PoE input ports towards each other like this, we will get 300 meters of a high-speed tunnel in between. You can imagine that. So literally, when we have two PoE extenders like this, on this end we will have 100 meters. In the middle we will have 300 meters. On the other end we will have 100 meters too. So basically a simple addition, 100, 100, and 300, we have 500 meters in total. So that seems to work for our method. And today we're going to set this up and let you guys see that this is a very workable method. So in the middle, if the middle can work with 300 meters of Ethernet cable, the two ends can be surely working with 100 meters. Now let's take a look at our main device today. This is our PTZ camera, and what's so special about a PTZ camera? Well, first, the camera is in front right here, and you can see that it can rotate around, it can tilt up and down, and it can zoom in and out. So basically it has no blind spots. When you set this up, it can, as long as in front of the camera in this area, it has basically like 300 degrees of a visual. Now let's talk about the device we're going to use today. This is our PTZ camera. Our fast cabling PTZ camera, like all PTZ cameras, can rotate around the axis, turn up and down, which is a tilting feature, and then can zoom in and out. This will help us provide a non-blind spot for surveillance. And our camera is also 5 megapixel resolution. With 5 megapixel resolution, it can provide us very clear images even if we zoom in a lot. And the zooming is also great. It can zoom in 20 to 30 times, which is approximately almost 300 meters. So that can let us see a lot of images even if we zoom with the image and the object is far away. And let's take a look at the casing. The casing is using a special metal. This design will let it help release the heat when it's rotating around, the motors are working, and it generates a lot of heat. The metal casing's material will help it release it. And also it makes it waterproof, so it is totally okay to leave outside in the rain and it will still work properly. The rain will not damage the components within. So much about the hardware. Let's talk about some softwares. Well, first it has like human detection and motion detection, which will help us trigger the camera whenever there is movement in front of it, which is very useful and saves us a lot of storage in our recording devices. It also has ONVIF, so it can be compatible with basically any kind of video recorder in the market. So So this is our very special 5 megapixel PTZ camera, and let's now take a look on how we should do this connection. So the connection is really easy. We have our video recorder connected to the high power PoE switch, and the PoE switch will connect to one extender first, and then the extender will use a very long 300 meter Ethernet cable to connect to the other extender, and then the other extender will connect to the camera. So first of all, let's power up the extender, the PoE switch. So once we powered up the PoE switch, we're going to use an Ethernet cable to connect the PoE switch to our NVR. So after it's connected to the NVR, we're going to use, imagine this would be 100 meters, an Ethernet cable, and connect our PoE switch to our first PoE extender. First PoE extender, remember, since the two input ports should be facing towards each other, we're going to need the output port connected to our PoE switch. As you can see, the output port. And then we're going to use one end of our very long 300 meter Ethernet cable and connect it to our PoE extender. So this end is okay. And then we're going to take our second PoE extender connect it to the other end of the very long Ethernet cable, and remember to the input port. And last step, connect the IP camera, our PTZ camera, to our extender. And this should create the connection. Our camera should turn on shortly, and you can see it's rotating. This is the self-diagnosis, and after that it will show the real-time live video feed on our monitor here. Just a quick notice to see if our connection is thorough. You can see there are indicators in the PoE extender. Both lights on will mean the connection, the power and data is currently flowing through the Ethernet cables. Now you can see there is a real-time live video on our monitor here. This means this whole connection is thorough, and you can see the latency is really low. And that's basically it. If you have any more questions about this connection or the PTZ camera, feel free to leave them at the section below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.